Okay, everything is set up, so we're good to go. Yep. Give us just a second, I'm sorry.
She show up.
Here I am. Okay. I was trying to get someplace where I could be seen. Better. Are you ready for me to start?
You ready?
Okay. The March 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Richmond Sanitary District Board of Commissioners is called to order. First item of business is approval of board minutes from February 22nd and March 8th of 2022.
President Miller,
Yes, Mr. Bakshi.
motion for approval of board minutes from February 22nd and March 8th, 2022 as presented.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the board minutes of the February 22nd and March 8th of 2022 minutes. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Jess, will you call the roll?
Mon,
Aye.
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. The next item of business is approval of invoices from check dates March 4th and 11th of 2022.
President Miller,
Yes, Mr. Steens?
make a motion to approve invoices for check date run March 4th and 11th of 2022, totaling $252,615.35. We had a few significant invoices. First from U.S. Geological Survey for $13,400. Interface Logic Systems for $10,611.50. Pyramid Equipment for $69,780. And Richmond Power and Light for $48,144.06.
I second.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a motion and a second to approve invoices from check dates March 4th and 11th of 2022. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Jess, will you call the roll?
Mon,
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. The next item of business is the director's report. I think Pat was going to be traveling on the road today for meeting. Does anyone have anything on his behalf? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to the next item of business, which is to receive quotes for lawn services.
These. And the yellow one. Okay. First quote is from Greenleaf Lawn Care of Richmond, Indiana. Okay, there are 3 quotes. First, for year 2022, 2023, and 2024. And this is for the treatment plant for 2022. The cost per cutting is $200. For the landfill at New Paris Pike landfill, it's $50 per cutting. And any additional cutting request is $25 per man hour. That was for 2022. For 2023, the treatment plant per cutting is $200. The landfill would be $50. And the additional hourly rate charge would be $25 per man hour. And it's the same for 2024 also. The next quote is from White Oak Lawn Care of Richmond, Indiana. For year 2022, for the treatment plant, it's $200 per cutting. The landfill, $45 per cutting. And for additional man hours, $25 per man hour. And it is the same for 2023 and 2024. That's it.
Okay, thank you. We will refer those to management for recommendation at a later meeting. The next item of business is to receive bids for the high sprocket crawler tractor.
We have one bid from McAllister Machinery Company of Indianapolis, Indiana. This is for a Caterpillar D8T crawler tractor. Their price is $916,400. We are also trading in the same vehicle, older model, I guess. We will receive a credit of $440,000. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you. We will also refer that to management for a recommendation at a later meeting. And I don't know if there's anyone there to review the bids, but I assume they'll be made available. Okay. All right. That takes us on to item number 6, which is the recommendation to approve change order number 10 to the wastewater treatment plant phase 1 improvement project.
Yes, Madam President and Board. This is change order number 10 with Kekosing Industrial Incorporated for a wastewater treatment plant project. It includes the installation of a few short sidewalks in some areas that hadn't previously been identified, but as we use things, find that are needed to connect basically one area from another, especially in wet or snowy conditions. And it also redirects an under drain that was put in that has caused some erosion, and we need to discharge it to a different location. So this change order does that as well. And it's my recommendation to approve this change order for a total increase in project cost of $12,821.
Thank you, Elijah. I see that we have a completion of 849 days final. Are we close to that?
Yeah, so this, I failed to mention that we are adding or requesting to add 37 days to this. So we need a little bit better weather to especially with the redirection of the storm pipe, to be able to finish seeding and doing all that with that particular piece. So to do that, we added these days, which I think puts us right about May 1st for final completion. So it gives us time, hopefully through the month of April, to be able to get this in and taken care of.
But otherwise, it's essentially online, all of the components of this. Isn't that correct?
Yes, there's a handful of SCADA issues that we're still kind of finalizing or working through. We've had several meetings on that, mainly as it pertains to our blowers, and making them talk better to each other, I guess. And in the end, make sure that we have the alarming and functionality of being able to get on our SCADA and operate the blowers, as opposed to having to walk to the building and do that. So, if there's an issue in the night, we can do something. And some issues we still have to, we know we still have to come in or want to put eyes on it. But depending on what those are, we want to have a little bit more flexibility than what it currently has. And so we're working through that and deciding what that will take, and if there's any cost to that or not. So Donahue and us and Torque, the systems integrator or INC contractor, subcontractor, have had several conversations on that, and they're working through some of that now.
Thank you. Any other questions of Elijah?
I have one quick question that doesn't relate. It relates to the project, but I'm just kind of curious. Elijah, do you recall what the rate of interest rate that we got on this loan? Because I've been seeing like interest rates are going to be going up.
Correct. Yeah. So this was a 2% loan, which SRF has had. It's been at 2% for some time. This project, had it not been at 2%, would have qualified for a reduction in interest rate, because it would have qualified for what they call a green project reserve, which basically means there's some component of it that like energy efficiency. And so this one, I think we've kind of mentioned in the past, we're seeing at a minimum about $15,000 a month in electrical savings from this project. And so we would have gotten a better rate, but they had kind of capped that 2% as the lowest you could go. So yeah, we've been kind of watching that too, and I'm interested to see how the next SRF rate will look. They usually change those every quarter. So we're getting close here. So sometime in early April, we'll see what SRF comes out with and see if it changes at all. Which I'll have a quick update.
We've done a lot of projects.
Yes.
Done a lot of projects at low interest rates, I believe. So
we have. If you look back through the interest rates that we've had, we've either refinanced the ones that were higher, or just gotten extremely good interest rates on the newer ones that we have done. So yeah, we're sitting in good shape when it comes to the debt we do have and the rates that we're paying on that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yes, and I did notice, as you mentioned, when we went through the invoices or the checks for this month, that we're under $50,000 for our energy, and it's our P&L bills. So that's great news.
Yeah, that's definitely excited to see.
Yeah. Any other questions of Elijah? If not, I will entertain a motion.
President Miller?
Yes, Mr. Bakshi?
Motion for recommendation to approve change order number 10 to the wastewater treatment plant phase 1 improvement project as presented.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second to approve change order number 10 for the wastewater treatment plant phase 1 improvements project as presented. Further questions or comments? Hearing none. Jess, will you call the roll?
Mon,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. That takes us to item 7, the recommendation to approve change order number 1 to the 2021 sewer lining project.
Yes, Madam President and Board. This is a change order with SAK Construction LLC, which was awarded the 2021 sewer lining project. After it was awarded, we had located a new manhole and section in a particular area that we were working in, already doing some lining on this project. And this area, because of how it needs to be constructed and the access, it's kind of behind homes without any good street access. We thought that it made sense to add this section and flip flop a section, kind of look at that because of constructability. And so it's our recommendation to add these three sections here to do as part of this project. As you know, we spend about $350,000 a year right now on lining. And so while this will increase this contract by $14,511.50, it would be, we would then just reduce our next project by that much. So we bid it such that we award it to the contractor who can do the most for $350,000. So we'll just take this off of that budget and include that here. We felt like that made the most sense from a lining standpoint. So it's my recommendation to approve change order number 1 with SAK Construction LLC for this work. And I realized this should probably be this is a contract with both Storm and Sanitary, and I did not put Storm on that. So we'll have to bring this back to the Sanitary board. I don't think we have one of those scheduled today, and add that signature line to this. But so I will work on that and bring that to the next board meeting.
And as I recall, we recently did the final change order on a prior year, one of these projects, and I think we ended up a little under on it as well. So
that's correct. Yep, we did.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Are there any questions or a motion?
President Miller,
Yes, Mr. Steens.
make a motion to approve change order number 1 to contract 164/2021 with SAK Construction LLC. This is for the 2021 sewer lining project. Total amount of change order is $14,511.50, bringing the total contract price to $362,343.
A second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve change order number 1 to contract number 164-2021 with SAK Construction LLC for the 2021 sewer lining project. This is a net increase of $14,511.50. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, Jess, will you call the roll?
Mon. Craig,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. That takes us to miscellaneous. Does anyone have any other business to be brought before the board today?
I've got one miscellaneous item that I don't think it's anything that we need to vote on at this point. There'll be other things later on that that will require that. But as you know, we've Greg kind of asked the question about interest rates. As we've worked through financials and our long-term control plan, you know, there have been certain projects we've paid for with cash on hand, using local funds, and other projects that we've financed through SRF or open market bonds. And we're also in this time where there's federal monies that have been distributed to states, specifically for infrastructure improvements and water infrastructure improvements, including wastewater. And so we've got a real close eye on that, and we still don't have all the details. But what we do know, it's going to be the SRF program, or the SRF program will at least be one of the major organizations that will distribute that money. And just kind of like it was last year, we applied for what was labeled SWIFT money, or SWIF, and we were not awarded any money. I think I don't remember the specifics, but there were lots and lots of projects submitted with requesting over, I think, $700 million. And they targeted ones to award the monies to who had rates that were $100 or above. So as of a couple of weeks ago, that was still what we've been hearing, that they were going to target communities with rates at $100 or above. And, we're still in the $40, 40s range, between $40 and $50. And so we weren't likely going to be a prime candidate to be able to be awarded at least some of these monies. But we've kind of heard more, I guess, and it sounds like that may shift some from rates to more heavily relying on median household income, which, fortunately and unfortunately for Richmond, our median household income is lower, and they're going to compare it to the state average. And they're going to target people that are at or below 80% of the state average median household income, which we will qualify for, or at least put us in a better position to qualify for. So as we've looked at that, and at the same time looked at which projects we're still intending on financing, we have started putting together an application for SRF to submit here by April 1st. How it's been done in the past is you get extra points for submitting by April 1st rather than May 1st. And we're in a position ready to submit. We were just kind of waiting for more information. And the two projects that we were contemplating submitting, being the Hayes Lift Station Rehabilitation Project and the Short Creek Lift Station Rehabilitation Project, both part of our Short Creek Interceptor improvements. Our plan is to submit both of those projects with the idea that we would still pay cash that we have saved for our Hayes project. So that would be our match. Again, we don't have any hard details on what exactly this program is going to look like. We do think it will be a 5-year program from what we're hearing. So there'll be other rounds of this, but we think it's prudent to try to put ourselves in a position to potentially get as much money as possible. And the matching part was a big part of the criteria as well last time. The ones that they awarded to not only had high rates, also had high matching dollars. So we don't know what we'll get or if we'll get anything. Either way, we want to be in a position to try to finance the Short Creek project anyway. And again, with the unknown interest rates, I think the sooner we lock in that, the better we'll be as well. So just wanted to give you guys an update and let you guys ask questions and comment on those thoughts or those ideas about submitting the application here. There is no, guarantee that we have to do anything. So we can decide not to finance anything, even if we get offered monies, depending on what the final interest and or grant or anything. We don't have to accept anything, but that'll hopefully put us in a good position to reduce the cost. These are both projects that we have to do anyway as part of the long-term control plan. We're just trying to position ourselves such that we can do that for as cheaply as possible. So I just wanted to say that and make sure everybody was on board with that, and again, let you guys ask questions or give feedback and comments.
Thanks. No, I know that we have always benefited from the fact that you guys are planning ahead, that you sort of have projects at the ready so that they can be, years ago when the notion was those shovel-ready projects where we could get funding, to have those projects ready, and all the way through the phase that they can rapidly be submitted. Obviously, if we were starting from scratch now, to have something submitted by April 1st would be impossible. So, I mean, I appreciate it, and I know, as you're saying, because the finances are evolving very quickly here as far as what rates might be. I know that we might have to look at that and work with our financial advisors out there to make sure that we can continue, to afford to pay our part of it and meet the debt load. But beyond that, I'm certainly interested in pursuing any options that we have to help get some funding for our projects. Any other comments? I guess hearing none, we'll look to hear more on that as it evolves.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
sounds good. Yeah, we'll keep you updated, and I think there's one signature we'll ultimately need from you, Sue, on
Okay.
on that, but we'll let you know when that document's prepared and ready. So
Okay, thank you.
thanks.
Any other business to be brought before the board today? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to adjourn. Jess, will you call the roll?
Come on,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye,
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
thank you. We are adjourned.